of the current 1NZ. Lance Field getting caught up in the mix as well. As we've got big tumble there, and just as we talked about it, that's Karen Scarell by the looks of 22. He dominated here, and the KB Tanks, number 97 of Ben Morrison, takes out your feature here tonight. But the win goes to Daniel Thomas. Gilbert looking to bring home his first feature win here and looks to the Western Springs Speedway. And that, ladies and gentlemen, celebration or not, that is a feature celebration, and there is our win from hero to zero, Max Gilbert. Alan moves high side, gets out of shape, he hits the wall and he's over. We've got 9 laps left to run for Auto Super Shop Sprint Car Masters. Pickens is your pace setter. Down the outside, Pickens goes early, and we are racing. Just as we head into turn 1, a big up and over for the 51. So Pickens leads the 88 of Keenan Darth. Then we go back to Dean Cooper, Daniel Thomas, and Dion Kendall, and our winner for tonight for round 1 of the Auto Super Shop, Michael Pickens. Oh, freaking Tyler gets in there as well. As does, we got a big flyer down here. Jamie McDonald up and over multiple times, as does the 2 cars down the back. He goes early once again as we see cars get out of shape. We've got multiple cars around.
A lot of excitement here at Western Springs Speedway. It's practice day. You can just hear the sprint car in the background just idling out as it's just finished doing a couple of laps circulating out there as we get ready for a successful season this season for the 22-23 season. I've got with me John McCullum, the promoter of Western Springs Speedway. John, the first time we've been able to get back at the Springs in front of a regular crowd for 2 years. How does it feel?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I've been excited for weeks, and to have a look out today and just see people wandering in and having a look around, the car park's full, the pits are full, it feels like normal.
It does, and already you can hear the noise of the engines in the background. There's the smell of the methanol. There's the cars circulating on the track. We just need the crowds. We're ready to go racing.
We've certainly got all the ingredients. I think we've got 30 registered sprint cars. We've got 25 midgets in the series. We've got huge numbers ready to go.
Speaking of the series we've got coming up, we do have an absolutely packed season. I mean, we've got, what, 12 meetings, and we've got them all absolutely crammed full of entertainment.
We've got an amazing season, Nick. It's got everything coming on. I guess the first highlights, the international sprint cars with Robbie Farr and Jamie Veal coming to town.
Wow.
Then we move into the Midas series for midgets. There's 25 cars of that. The sprint car masters, and then on to Christmas, of course, with the 3 big name Americans. So it really kicks off.
Well, you start by talking about how exciting the sprint cars are going to be, but midget racing over the Christmas New Year period. We got the 30 lapper and we got the 50 lapper, and we've got some special guests coming down as well.
Yeah, I mean, Taylor Reimer, I know you've spoken to.
Yeah.
Super excited to have that fast lady down here. Ethan Mitchell coming down to run for the committee team, and Justin Grant just announced yesterday with Greenway. Justin Grant's a legend. Yeah, so that's 3 big hitters to come and join the team, and on top of that, I've had Stratford guy, I've booked accommodation, I'm here for the season. 3 Christchurch guys, I've booked accommodation, I'm here for Christmas. So everyone's coming to town.
Look, it's always talked about how Western Springs is the racetrack to come to. It is like the jewel in the crown when it comes to speedway racing. As we've seen in the past, drivers coming from overseas, but now we've got drivers coming from all over the country to race here at the Springs. It's a pretty exciting time. Plus, it's not just about the cars that we're going to try, open wheelers. We've got the super stocks are going to join us for a couple of events. We've got the modifieds are going to be dropping in, and bikes are coming back to the Springs.
Yeah, I see a few bikes here today for practice. They've really developed. They're bringing some guys up from the South Island. They've brought a couple of guys up from overseas. They've built special flat track bikes that work on our clay surface. So they'll have one of their series here this year, one round of it. Like you say, the super stocks, super saloons, modifieds. But man, we're pretty excited what we've got in our own backyard right here. The amount of equipment that's rolled into the pit area today is just unbelievable. I've never seen a practice number like this in as long as I can remember.
Look, I love seeing the racing here at the Springs, but there is one thing that's coming up this season that's possibly bigger and more exciting to even think about than anything else. It's a 50-lap sprint car race. Now, there's a certain special something that's going to happen. We've had 50 lappers with the midgets. The sprint cars are going to be something else racing for 50, but there's an extra twist in it, isn't there?
There is. So they'll run for 25 laps. Then we'll take them down Indian file, park them up in their order on the centre green, and they'll get a 5-minute pit window. That's 5 minutes once the crews are at the car. So we're not going to race the crews to the car. Once the crews are at the car, driver will get out for the refueling. We'll refuel. You can do tyres, bars, shocks. You can do what you like in 5 minutes. Then we'll line them up again. Indian file start, 25 more.
Right, so there's going to be a refueling mid-race for the 50-lapper for the sprint cars. If there is only one race meeting you get here at Western Springs Speedway, then you make sure it's for the 50-lap sprint car race. But if you're going to come for the 50-lap sprint car, come for the 50-lap for the midgets, come for the 30-lap for the midgets. Come here opening night, and I guarantee you will want to see every single race this year. And of course you can. We'll be live streaming the races here at Western Springs if you can't make it, if you're around the country or even around the world. And of course we've got our YouTube channel, and selected highlights from the great racing here at Western Springs is going to be available on Sky TV, on Sky Sport 5, but it's always better to be here and catch it live, because when you catch it live, you catch the show as it happens. And the man that calls the action, Alistair Wooten, and the guy that knows all about racing here at Western Springs, Mr. 100 himself, Graham Standry, they'll be helping us through. Morning, chaps.
Thanks very much there, Nick and John. And I tell you what, we're excited to be here. And Graham Standring, we're here. We're seeing some beautiful cars turned out here this afternoon at Western Springs. And I know you're excited to be back this summer too.
Absolutely am, and I've done a walk through the pits and sort of introduced ourselves for those that don't know us very well. And I've been down there, and the enthusiasm in these guys is just unsurpassed. I've been coming to practices for 30 years, and the fact that there's no doubt about the season going to take place for the full term, that the cars that were a beautiful day, people are just jumping out of their skin, and they just can't wait to get out on the track, as we can hear now.
Yeah, and I tell you what, the off-season is a long duration of time, but it seems so close in between drinks since we were standing here only a few months ago doing preparations, getting ready for the season, and looking at the cars like we say that these guys have turned out. Not only have we got new partners, new chassis, new ideas, but there's some new drivers out there this year as well.
Yes, there are, and there's even guys that have come up from Christchurch to race the full season in a midget car for the Seamount team. So we've got it all happening here, with especially some of the new drivers have cross-coded from some of the other forms of motorsport, come back from circuit racing to doing dirt track racing. Some guys have come from mini stocks and from like Waikareka Park and places like that, because they want to be a part of the open wheel action here at Western Springs.
Yeah, and no doubt, given the track conditions that we were just talking about earlier as well, in terms of the high line here around Penrite turn number, 3 and 4 and down to Midas turn number 1 and 2, there's a lot more banking, there's a lot more profiling that's been done to the track over the winter months as well.
Yes, you're right. I've had a long talk with Steve Etches, and Steve's doing the preparation for the track. So a smart move was he actually did the profile of the track, which is from the pole line up to the wall, and got it at the wall at the very minimum height that he's allowed. So he's got some degree of banking in there. It might only be 2 or 3 degrees, but it makes a huge difference. He did that about, like I said, 4 or 5, 3 months ago, something like that, and the whole thing's had a chance to consolidate. It's had a chance to settle. He's packed it down and we've put water on it. So we're expecting a lot more stability in the surface now, and we just hope that if we get some water on the track, probably a little bit hard on a daytime show like today, but if we get some water on the track and tyre wear comes down to a minimum, because we know that the cost of racing has gone through the roof as well. The guys that prepare the track are very much aware of that. The track looks fantastic. Let's get racing.
That's it, and just touching on that as well, Graham, these guys are turning out beautiful race cars. The US dollar is looking absolutely terrible. These guys have been able to, you know, source products from internationally, from the US, from Australia. But I tell you what, the thing that amazes me, and it's going to be very interesting this season, with the two prominent tyre brands and the limited of stock, not only in the country, but also the amount of manufacturing and the demands that are being put on the likes of American Racer and Hoosier. So tyre management this season is going to be extremely critical.
Yes, you're right. We had a long chat at one of the Pigeon Bar sort of seminars there with Jonathan Allard, actually, and he made us very much aware of the tyre situation. So in simple terms, some of the cars are not going to be able to purchase the amount of tyres that's required to run on the track. So therefore the track condition and the track preparation is paramount into tyre lasting and things like that. So the manufacturers, like you said, American Racer, Hoosier, they're sort of really concentrating on the home market at the moment, and so we're at the sort of bottom feeders down here in New Zealand. Some guys have got stock of tyres, but some guys haven't, so that might play out later in the season. So we'll have to wait and see on that, but man, isn't it just so fantastic?
Mate, there is no place in the world quite like Lucas or Western Springs Speedway, and it's so good to be back, and so great to be back with you, Graham. And Nick Brown, always great to be part of the team with you as well, mate.
And thanks, Graham. Looking forward to a great season. I just want to make a brief message here for the guys that helped us during the slower times of the last 2 years. We couldn't have done it and put on the racing that we did without Jason and Greg from Midas, Warwick McKenzie from Pipeline Hose Shop. It's a great supporter. Let's see, the guys from J.A. Russell, and for Ron Salter for everything that he's done to help us keep underway during the COVID times and getting ready for this, our next season here at Western Springs. And in fact, Ron Salter is putting on the Sprint Car Stampede. That's just one of the things you need to know about. So grab yourself a pen and paper, and I'll give you the rundown of what's coming up at Western Springs after the break.
Front end there of the current 1NZ. Lance Beale getting caught up in the mix as well. As we've got big tumble there, just as we talked about him. He dominated here. Looking to bring home his first feature win here at Western Springs Speedway.
Perspective Group Limited is a leading media production company based in Auckland, New Zealand. Established in 2009 by former TVNZ producer David Turner, Perspective Group offers you a vast arrangement of media options to fit any size or any budget. It covers truly global services supported by some of New Zealand's leading media talents. For more information, contact Perspective Group Limited at perspectivegrouplimited@gmail.com and check out the website perspectivegrouplimited.com, where you'll find even more information on creating your media solutions. Welcome Welcome back to the quarter mile here at Lucas Oil Western Springs Speedway. It's practice day and the cars are out here getting warmed up for the first big full-time season we've had in the last couple of years. We had some racing for you and we had some great highlights, but this is the first year we're going to get a full crowd in here for a full season, so we're pretty excited. One of the drivers to watch, and boy, has he got a sensational looking car this year, driving in the 91M, Hayden Guptill. How are you, Hayden? Great suit, by the way, mate.
Yeah, I'm good. No, I'm feeling good. Yeah, it feels almost a little bit too flash for me, to be honest.
Hey, look, the last couple of years racing, because of the restrictions we've had, it's kind of like been 2 years of practice. So what's it like now that you've actually got a season lined up? And we've got a championship coming up for the season as well.
Yeah,
so you could be changing the number on the car.
And my favourite track too. So we're pretty excited about that. And I missed about 4 months almost of last year's season as well after I had that head knock. And so it feels like it's been even more drawn out and I've been waiting such a long time. So yeah, we're thrilled. The whole team's thrilled. The car looks great. We're putting together a really nice piece as well, and hopefully we can get some laps under our belt today and just build on what we had going last year, as it was going quite well until we obviously had the accident. So.
Hey, I hope you don't mind, but if we can just maybe talk about the accident for a minute, because it's not often that we get to have the opportunity to talk about it. Everyone looks on and thinks, oh, it's been an accident, and then suddenly you're back in the car. For you, coming through it, and you actually wrote a really good piece in Speedway magazine about what it was like and what you had to go through. What is it like? How do you deal with it when you have an accident like that?
Yeah, it's never linear is the biggest thing. I mean, you've got how many guys here and they've probably all had accidents and they've all got their own different stories on how they handled it or if it affected them long term or not. And this was really the first one that's affected me long term. And so I had a really big crash down in turn 3 just here a few years ago, and I raced the week after that. And in all honesty, I probably shouldn't have. But this was the first crash that I've had that it was 10 weeks from the point of the crash to the time that I actually felt like myself again. And so I was struggling with all sorts of stuff. I'd get angry at there being a teaspoon in the sink, and that was enough to tip me over the edge. And
I was going to say, you've met my partner, because she's like that at home at the moment.
Yeah, and like I'd have memory lapses, I'd have all sorts of stuff. Like to be honest, even to this day, I feel like I'm still getting my memory back. Like it's still coming back. It's not the long-term stuff, but if I walk into after the accident, if I walked into a shop at the mall and I walked out, I don't know where I came from. I don't know where I parked my car. I don't even know why I'm at the mall. So obviously trying to do my job and trying to do the day-to-day things became really difficult, and many of the fans probably don't think of that because they arrive on a Saturday, they go home, they do their stuff, and then they come back the next Saturday. Yeah. So, yeah.
So for you, what's it like getting back in the car, getting back for action after you've been through all that rebuilding process that anyone would from an accident, but then to get back in the place where it happened and go racing again? Yeah,
well, I'm just excited, to be honest. I mean, this is... I thought about it for a long time, and especially when you have an accident that lasts so long and the complications last so long, you can't help but think, what if this doesn't come right? What if that was my last race? And so we had to think about that, and we, as things got better, we went, no, we will come back. And then it's just been excitement since then. So I love my team, and I love the sport. I've done this my whole life. So for me, I can't imagine doing anything else. It's hard for me to do that. So I don't know. It's all been positive, to be honest with you.
So, one last question. What do we want to get from the season? Are we going to change the number?
Yeah, I really hope so. Stratford's arguably my favourite track in the country. And so last time we were there, we got extremely close, and we were one spot out from qualifying on the front row, and then had an engine malfunction, and we had to start from the rear, and we went from 24th to 5th place in a green to checkered run. So we had all the pace in the world last time, but just no luck. So hopefully we can find a little bit of luck. I'm still the North Island champion, because luckily they didn't run it last year, so I got to hold on to that. And so hopefully I can back that up as well. I mean, we're just chasing wins, to be honest. We've been really consistent the last few years, and all we want from this season is as many wins as we can get, starting with 1, lead to 2 and 3 if possible, and go for points championships. We just want to shoot for the stars, pretty much.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, a car to watch, 91M, Hayden Guptill. He's back and he's ready to race, as we are here at the Springs. It is going to be a great season. Graham Standring, what are your season highlights that you're going to be looking forward to?
Yeah, Nick, I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to all sorts of stuff this year, but I just going back on Hayden, I had similar sort of, wait a sec, I'm just going to get rid of this. Sorry, I'm going to go back to it. I just had exactly the same situation as Hayden when I was racing. I was racing 2 classes and I got knocked unconscious in one race, and they put me out in the next race in my second of the 2 classes. And honestly, I didn't even know where I'd finished. I don't even remember being in the race, to be honest. And I had to come in after the race and ask how I'd done. And then after that, exactly like Hayden, I went to the shops to get things, and I'd come home, I hadn't got them, I didn't even know I'd been there. And I think that it does have an effect on us long term also, because I have this issue with remembering names. So we all know about that, and I get that wrong on occasion. But absolutely fantastic for Hayden to be able to document that for us and tell us just what it's like. So well done, Hayden. But so far for the season this year, then there's a huge excitement here. And, we've got, like as you've alluded to, the international drive. We've got Taylor Ryman, and we had a long chat with her in a Zoom meeting the other day, and just unbelievable how she's come from racing at 6 years old, went through micro sprints, then didn't race at all for something like 7 years, then came back to get the opportunity to race midget cars, and now driving for Keith Coon's Motorsport. Now that's the top level of racing that you can get to in the US, and I know she's blazingly fast, very, very fast in qualifying and all that sort of stuff, but struggles a little bit in traffic. So we're going to have a sort of nurse her through that, because there's plenty of traffic here, and the track's being a little bit more narrow than normal. She'll probably struggle with that a little bit to start with. But so far as her, then we've got Justin Grant. Now, Justin Grant has won the Silver Crown Series. I think he's won a USAC Midget Series. He's the NOS Energy Drink driver. He's coming out here to race for the Greenway team, as we alluded in Behind the Garage Door program. And I've been watching him as well, and he's sort of up there every time. Just somebody else, I'm not sure that he's going to make the trip back to here this year, is... here we go, Zach Dahm. Now, Zach Dahm had his first win of the season the other night. He won a 50-lapper, and he's going really well up there as well. So it's all about to happen, but something about the sprint car season this year, I've got the feeling that this is going to be one of their breakthrough years with Robbie Farr. Now, Robbie Farr, he has raced since I was racing. He was a young guy then, and he's done more racing in Australia than any other driver in all sections of cars, saloons, midgets, sprint cars, everything. So if you bring that level of experience to Western Springs, he has raced at Western Springs, but you bring that level of experience back, and man, you've got something special. And let's not forget Jamie Veal, sorry. He was here once before. He's done some World of Outlaw stuff, and in the Northern Territory in Australia just more recently, he wiped the floor with everybody. He's that sort of fast. And so we got some talent coming, and it's so good to have it here at last, because we've had 2 years without it. We've done all sorts of things to try and make the show cool, like putting some old announcer in the car that was able to tell you a few things, and did what he normally does, is crash. But certainly, man, I'm jumping out of my skin. I can't wait. And I woke up this morning, looked at the sky, it's all on. Let's get going. So back to you, Nick, before I jump over the balcony here.
Thanks, Grab. Looking forward to a really exciting season, and I've got one of the exciting drivers in the TQs with me right this very second. He's just stepped out of the car. So Troy Pennington, welcome to the studio. Welcome back to the Springs. I mean, you had some really good runs last year. We've had a couple of chats on the podium at the end of last season. So what have you been up to in the off season?
Yeah, thank you, Nick. Thank you for welcoming me, and yeah, ready for another season, as we always are. But yeah, this off-season I've been working at the, not working, I went down to Dunedin for the Elite Motorsport Academy for New Zealand. So that was put on by Motorsport New Zealand, and it was just a phenomenal experience. All the trustees, Dave, Alistair, they just made an awesome time, and learnt so much about myself on and off the racetrack. I'm
just going to interrupt you there for a second. This will be the first time any Speedway driver has been to the Academy, yeah?
Yeah, that is right, yeah.
Was there a moment where everyone else there looked at you and said, you only turn left? What does that do?
quite often actually. But no, it was great banter with the boys. Everyone down there was from so many different walks of motorsport. You had rally drivers, go-karters, Formula Ford racers, yeah, just a bit of everything, but it was absolutely awesome. Mixing and mingling with guys like that and just learning off of each other. Like we spent time in simulators, time doing fitness. It was just awesome, just learning so much about motorsport.
So what did you get out of that thing? What was the overall? Because I just want to point out here, you picked up the Bruce McLaren Trophy, which means the first time entry into the academy for a speedway driver, and at the end of the academy, you walked away with the prize.
Yeah, it was pretty cool to pick up that trophy just for the hard work and dedication that I put in for that week. It's an absolute testament to everybody that's helped me out get to this point. A lot of it was off the racetrack kind of stuff, so sponsorship and health and nutrition and fitness. So I just absolutely pushed myself as hard as I could, and it's just helped me immensely. Helping secure sponsors this year, just being able to sell yourself as a product that's what we are. We're a product. We're not just asking for money, but it was absolutely amazing.
The thing I noticed last season here at the Springs, especially for you, Troy, because I've watched you perform from quarter midgets through into the TQs, and the way that we finished up last season, and we had a chat a couple of times about it, was you were after consistency. You were really looking forward to consistency. So is it at the moment like when you don't go for a win, you just go for a place, or you're constantly trying to fish away at it? And how do you maintain that consistency?
Always going for a win. That's why we're racing. Unfortunately, last year we had a bit of bad luck with consistency. Like I pride myself on being in the top 5 almost every night, and last season we just struggled with everything that could go wrong. But towards the end of the season, when we just ironed out every little issue that we had and just worked through anything that we could think of that would hold us back, and we managed to get the win on the last night, and then had some strong finishes at away tracks. But yeah, it was just real great to get. Yeah.
Troy Pennington, one of the great up-and-coming drivers, and as I said, I've watched him through quarter midgets, and I'm absolutely so impressed at the fact that he picked up the Bruce McLaren medal at the Academy, and we expect more great things from him. Not to put too much pressure on there, Troy, but hopefully this year is going to be a good one. We go for the TQ Championships. Maybe we can get a #1 on the back of your tail tank.
That's the plan. Thank you, Nick.
No worries. Hey, look, we're here at Lucas Oil Western Springs Speedway on the quarter mile. It's our pre-season warm-up, and boy, are we getting ready for a good one. We'll be back with you more in just a second.
Front end there of the current 1NZ. Lance Veal getting caught up in the mix as well. As we've got big tumble there, just as we talked about it. He dominated here. Looking to bring home his first feature win here at Lucas Oil Western Springs Speedway.
Horsepower, 700 kilos, and the will to win. The quarter mile from Western Springs Speedway on Sky Sport 5. International sprint car action back at the Springs. The Winged Warriors are coming down to do battle with our best. New Zealand's most iconic speedway welcomes drivers from the US, Australia, and all over the country. Catch the action at the track live or the quarter mile, Sky Sport 5. Welcome back to the quarter mile. It's our pre-season warm-up here at Western Springs Speedway as we get ready for a great season ahead. And it's going to be a pretty good season. Alistair Wooten, our race caller, you're up on the roof with Graham Standring. Talk about what an exciting season we got coming up. You've seen the cars out on the track. Is the hunger building inside?
Oh, mate, it's hard from where I sit because I'd love to be behind the wheel myself, but there's one place that's not too much of a step down, and that's standing up there calling the races on race night. And one thing that never ceases to amaze me is the creativity, the designs of the cars, the ideas, and some of the the different things that the teams and drivers bring to the table every year. So it's always great coming down here. Awesome to see the public coming through the doors. Obviously, it's free for them to come through here today, and seeing everyone's passion and enthusiasm building for the season.
Just a couple of weeks and we'll be back racing here at the Springs, and we've already heard about some of the interesting drivers that are turning up in both the international sprint car racing that we've got to start it off in November, and then of course the midget series that's coming up in December. The one I'm looking forward to is Taylor Reimer, simply because she's really been laying down some good times for Keith Kunz Motorsport.
Yeah, she certainly has, and she's from the quad team, I guess, as far as that goes, are the 4 fast girls for Keith Kunz Motorsport. So Justin Grant, a driver we've never seen down here before, he's going to be extremely quick, and Ethan Mitchell as well. So a bit of a wild card in there, but hey, the Americans never cease to fail and disappoint when they come down here to New Zealand, that's for sure.
And of course, the thing about when the Americans do come down here, they like to use racing here, particularly at the Springs, as like a precursor to the Chili Bowl.
That's exactly right, Nick. And one thing they do know, and they have got a benchmark, is Michael Pickens. They know how fast Michael is. He dominates when he goes up there and runs toe-to-toe with those guys as well. But one thing they're going to have a bit of a shock for is we've got guys like Brad Mosen down here as well. Jack Lowe, who's in the Seamount car this year, he's going to throw a few surprises into the mix this year. And the likes of Hayden Guptill and Aaron Hodgson as well. So
Jack Lowe's come up from the South Island, hasn't he? So he's been turning in some real good driving in the South Island. But it is a bit of a step up when you come up to Western Springs, the narrow track.
Yeah, it is, but one thing that we're used to seeing here at Lucas Oil Western Springs Speedway is the dry slick, and if there's anyone that can drive on a dry slick track in the South Island, it's Jack Lowe.
Okay, you just heard it here first. Watch out for the Seamount car as that tears around the track this year at Lucas Oil Western Springs Speedway. Graham Standring is standing in the background pointing out to what's going out on the track. Obviously, people are having a bit of a good time out there. There is something about when the methanol starts to smell, the engines start to rev, the dust starts to rise, the mud starts to fly, that you really can't wait for the season to start.
I tell you what, it does something weird to the biochemical balance of our brains or something, Nick, I don't know, but the excitement, you can't help but feel it here, and there's all this pent-up energy that's within us. We've had the cold winter here in New Zealand, we've had all sorts of strange weather and whatnot, but we're keen to get some sunshine, we're keen to get back here at Lucas Oil Western Springs Speedway and go racing. And
you did right, Alistair, you can get back to Western Springs Speedway. For 2 years, we haven't been able to race properly. We've had short bursts, there were times when we could get a crowd in, but now, for the first time in 2 years, this place can be packed to the brim for you to catch all the action. And there are great ways to catch the action. If you can't be here at the Springs, you can always catch us on the live stream. There is the YouTube channel for updates. And of course, Sky Sport 5 is going to have the selected highlights of the racing season, which will include the 50 lappers in both the midgets and the sprint cars with a refueling stop, and plus some of the other special guests. But there is nothing like being here at the Western Springs Speedway. Opening night, it's a bit of a change for Western Springs because we'll be at Waikaraka Park for opening night, which is coming up on the 12th of November. So make sure you're there. But if I could tell you to do one thing so you don't miss any of the action whatsoever, is you go to the website, wsspeedway.com, and make sure you get a season pass, because honestly, when you see the lineup, you don't want to miss a thing. And that's why you come down to the quarter mile at Lucas Oil Western Springs Speedway. We'll see you on the dirt.